Yo, what's good YouTube? Zampro here, aka Scoot, back with the Pokemon Battle Federation Season 6, Week number 6, and we're taking on the Toronto Staraptors, coached by Noodle, our great buddy, and, on the up and come, great young prodigy in the draft format. Anyways, our opponent is rocking a Kieran Black, Mega Scizor, Azumarill, Nidoqueen, Deoxys Defense, Thunder's Incarnate, which is his Z Captain, Crobat, Alolan Muck, Hippowdon, Cofagrigus, and Cobalion. So, yeah, that's pretty hype. He's got a very cool squad. It's very similar to his MVP team that his MLP team he drafted in Season 3, where we actually played in the finals with Azu, Mega Sizz, etc. Actually, I think we both had a combination of these mons, to be honest. Anyways, we played in the MLP finals. We played in the PBF finals at the end of Season 5. And, yeah, so it's pretty hyped to be playing him again. He's actually 2-3 going into the battle. We're 4-1, and like I said, he's got Kieran Black, Mega Scizor, Azu, Nidoqueen, Deoxys D, Thunder's Incarnate, Crobat, Alolan Muck, Hippo, Cofag, and Cobalion, where his Z move user is Thundy Eye. We have Greninja, Celesteela, Zard X, Clefable, Crocodile, Suicune, Delmise, Jolteon, Hitmonlee, Mesprit, and Swellow, where our Z captain is Celesteela. This week we're choosing to bring Greninja, Zard X, Clef, Delmise, Jolteon, and Swellow. Reason being is because things like Swellow and Jolteon are just so fast against this team, and just having that speed is just so solid in my opinion. Greninja's pretty fast as well, so like as you can see here, I have a very bit different team than I usually been packing. Been packing things like bulky offense, maybe 3 offensive mons. Mostly just 2 offensive mons, and maybe 1 mon that could be like a bulky offensive mon with some kind of setup, and then like 3 defensive mons. This week I'm bringing just like 1 super defensive mon in Clefable, and then like Delmise has a little like defense investment, but it's a setup, it's a bulky setup sweeper, and the rest of my team is just basically offense. Get spikes and rocks up, and then just let my offense go at it. It's basically the game plan. And like I said, he's got Crobat, and as you can see, I have no answer for Crobat. Poison and flying coverage rips through my team, and he outpaces everything and speed ties with my Jolteon, so I have no way to check that. So my game plan was to pray he doesn't bring that. I do have Celesteela, I do have Suicune, Crocodile, Mesprit, so he might not bring it, but then again he could bring it. But we have Greninja here, 3 attacks and spikes. So the spikes are for, and I didn't need a 4th move, a 4th attacking move. So spikes is just gives my team some kind of support. All that extra chip and whatnot is really nice. Things like Zard really appreciate, lots of mons coming in on lots of different and taking lots of like residual damage. The Dark Pulse, it hits everything except the Azu. It don't hit the Alolan Muck or the Cobalion either, but they're not really going to be taking my other moves. Like Cobalion's not going to take a Hidden Power Fire. Muck, I guess it don't really mind me that much. But yeah, Dark Pulse, Ice Beam, Hidden Power Fires, like really good coverage against his team. Cofag don't really like Dark Pulse. Ice Beam hits literally everything. Hidden Power Fire is there to catch the Scizor off guard. It also does a little bit to Cobalion too. Yeah, we got enough speed to outspeed the Thunder's Incarnate. The Expert Belt boosts all my, this thing is hitting most things for super effective damage. It's hitting the Cofag, the Cobalion, the Hippo, the Crobat, the Thunderous, the Deoxys, the Nidoqueen, and the Mega Scizor with super effective damage. So those moves will be boosted, or the moves that I click will be boosted against those mons with my expert belt. And yeah, that's basically it. It's a nice revenge killer. It's and like, if I can weaken his team, this thing can come in and just beat down his entire team and revenge kill everything. If Crobat's not brought and he has no Scarfers, then this thing's looking really nice. Next up, we have a very bulky but very fast Charizard X. We have enough speed investment to outpace, like, say, okay, Kieran Black sets at 317 speed. Charizard can speed creep that at 319 speed. Predicting him to speed creep some of my mons, like Thunderous Incarnate, Crobat could speed creep, Cobalion even could speed creep a Zard that is speed creeping at Kieran Black. So I do have a little, a few extra EVs in speed, as you see down here. I set it actually 321, just in case. Would hate to be, outpaced by something that's actually barely outpacing something else. Zardex, he has no switch in for. I actually don't have my fourth move shown because I forgot, but looking at his team now, I clearly remember it. Swords Dance, Fire Punch, Dragon Claw, and Thunder Punch. He has no mons that can do like super effective damage back to me and that can outpace me. So if I can set up a Swords Dance on something like Cofagrigus or Mega Scizor, and he switches something in, or he even stays in, I could potentially get 2 Swords Dance up. After 1 Swords Dance, I'm doing a lot of damage to his entire team, unless he's got like Hippo and Cofagrigus both, and then like Cofag takes away my Tough Claws, and then Hippo, is not taking any damage and whatnot. I thought about running Will-O-Wisp for the Hippo, so I could burn it and set up on it, but wasn't worth it. I needed the coverage anyway. So Swords Dance, Fire Punch, Dragon Claw, and Thunder Punch. He has no switch-ins to that. Tough Claw's boosted. Swords Dance with just 36 EVs in attack just really puts the pressure on my opponent. So yeah, next up we have Clefable here with Moonblast, Wish, Protect, and I forgot my last move. I think it was Stealth Rock, actually. Actually, it is Stealth Rock. It's the only one on my team that can get Stealth Rock. So my last move is Stealth Rock. Moonblast, Wish, Protect. Basically, it throws wishes off into things like Zard and Delmise. And if I have to, I can throw like a wish out into Jolteon on something like the Thunderbolt from Thunderous, or like a Brave Bird from Crobat or something like that. Defensive to basically check Kieran Black. That's really the only reason. Otherwise, this is pretty, like, I guess he has things like Nidoqueen and Mega Scizor, but this is still a problem. Clefable is always a problem. It really doesn't matter what your team is. Clefable has no fears. It's very unaware of anything fearful. So yeah, my defensive investment allows me to take like just a little over half from, I can Life Orb Kieran Black's Iron Head. Unless he's like Adamant Max Attack, then he's doing like 60% or something like that. Mega Scizor also can't knock me out with Bullet Punch. And if he sets up, then I have the unaware ability, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, Alolan Muck and Nidoqueen can revenge kill me pretty well. Cobalion, Mega Scizor. But other than that, I'm in a pretty solid position. Oh, Crobat too, don't forget about Crobat. That's why I thought about running Thunder Wave, but Nidoqueen looked a little bit more about to. I don't want to say about to. I'm going to say more likely. It's more likely to come to the match. Next up, we have the Delmise here with Shadow Claw, Anchor Shot. This is the only coverage I needed. I didn't need the grass type coverage because Shadow Claw was doing enough. Anchor Shot's doing enough. I actually don't really know. I think it was because of the Muck is the only reason that I brought the Anchor Shot. Otherwise, it would have been like Shadow Claw, Swords Dance, Rapid Spin, and some kind of filler move. Either way, we got the special defense investment allows us to take hits from Nidoqueen, Thunderous Incarnate. Defensive investment allows us to take hits from Mega Scizor, Azu pretty comfortably, Hippo pretty well, even if it's got like Ice Fang or Fire Fang. I don't expect it, but it could come. I expect Hippo, but I don't expect the Elemental Fangs. So yeah, Cushy here is looking to put in the work. Get a Swords Dance up. It can eliminate some faster threats that are like. So, okay, so mons that are faster aren't always a threat. Like Thunderous Incarnate isn't an immediate threat to Delmise, even though it's faster. Crobat is an immediate threat. Kieran Black is an immediate threat. But things that are slower, like Hippo and Azu, they are not immediate threats, and they're actually not threats at all. Next up, we got the Jolteon with the Magnet Rise, so that if Hippo is like a mono Earthquake, like Earthquake, Stealth Rock, Slack Off, and Roar, and then it can't hit me, so I can always Magnet Rise up on it, and then try to hit it with something. You know, if it's clicking Earthquake or Slack Off or whatever, I can always click the Magnet Rise, make sure it can't Earthquake me, and then click Work Up or something. Thunderbolt, Hidden Power Ice hits his entire team, which is pretty hype. Magnet Boost is my Thunderbolt. Volt Absorb makes sure that Thunder's Incarnate's never really going to sweep me. And I had to run max speed because of the Crobat, even though I didn't think it was going to come, because I have things like Selly and Crook and Coon and Jolteon itself. So I didn't really expect the Crobat, but I knew it's a potential possibility. So I just wanted to speed tie with it if possible. So that's the reason for that. If I can get the proper chip on Nidoqueen and Kieran Black, then this thing can actually just go super duper ham. If I can get a workup off, say he doesn't bring Nidoqueen, say he brings only the Hippo, I bring Jolteon in and I click workup. My opponent hard switches into Hippo and goes for the Earthquake as I click Magnet Rise. Now I'm, worked up with a Magnet Rise. I'm +1 special attack with a Magnet Rise, so he has to roar. I click Hidden Power Ice, get roared into something. Say I get roared into Swellow, he drops. If I get roared into Greninja, he drops. If I get roared into Delmides, I can set up. If I get roared into Clef, I can set up my rocks. If I get roared into Zard, I can just click Dragon Claw. It just goes on. Go on and on and on. Yeah, so we can hop into our last mon here. Kamikaze here. I think I misspelled the name. I think it was supposed to be an I at the end. That's how, like, when I typed it in on my sets on the damage calc, I had 2 different Kamikazes come up, and one was a gut set, and one was this set. And one was spelled Kamikaze with the I at the end, one was spelled Kamikaze with the E at the end. So I could tell them apart, but realized that I had been spelling it 2 different ways. Got this Silk Scarf here with Scrappy ability because obviously don't need Guts because it doesn't boost anything, and I plan on not getting status. Boom Burst hits his entire team outside of Cobalion. Well, Cofagrigus normally wouldn't be able to be hit by Boom Burst, but thanks to the Scrappy ability, Cobalion and Mega Scizor are his only resist to Boom Burst, and even then they take a lot, and they do not appreciate the following Heat Wave that will knock them out. So after a workup, Swellow has a really, really good chance to sweep, just straight up sweep. If I can get rocks up, and I can get this thing in on something like Cofagrigus or Hippo or something like that, I can just, or like Deoxys defense, I can just click work up and proceed to start boom bursting my way through his entire team. And then Heat Wave hits things that Boom Burst won't hit. The Silk Scarf gives me the ability to boost Boom Burst damage output at the same time as being able to switch up my moves. So I didn't want to have specs, and I wanted to be able to, like, work up plus Silk Scarf is better than specs in my opinion. So there's that. Anyways, we can hop into the replay now. Okay, here we are with the battle, and my opponent has brought the Kieran Black, the Thunders Incarnate, the Hippowdon, Mega Scizor, Nidoqueen, and the Pythagoras. Pretty threatening squad. He does have the Thunders, which could be potentially a Z move. We got the Grin. Well, I went over the team in the prep, but Grin, Zardex, Clef, Delmise, Jolteon, and Swellow. Pretty solid squad here. Not the most defensive, like I mentioned, but it's enough. So looking at the squad he brings, Greninja can OHKO 5, potentially 5 of his 6 mons, depending on their sets. So things like Thunders, Hippo, and Nidoqueen could potentially drop to the Ice Beam. Mega Scizor could drop to the Hidden Power Fire, and the Pythagoras could drop to the Dark Pulse. So Greninja's like a likely lead for me. The only thing I can't hurt hard immediately is the Kieran Black. I don't expect him to lead with that because I have my only rocker is Clefable, which is a likely lead for me to get my rocks up. Especially since another likely lead for him would be like Hippo or Nidoqueen. More so Hippo, that I could get rocks up with no difficulty. Nidoqueen could be his rocker though, and that's why I'm actually deterred to not lead Clef. So yeah, definitely my best lead is Greninja, and we'll see what he leads. He actually leads with the Nidoqueen here. And he was thrown out first, but that actually has no significance in terms of who is faster. So unless he is Scarfed, he can't outspeed me, and even if he is Scarfed, he can't knock me out with one hit because of my little bit of HP investment I have. So I'm just going to click the Ice Beam here. He doesn't have a solid switch in. Mega Scizor could switch in, which is, I guess it's his best switch in to Ice Beam, but like I could pack Surf. This could be Hydro Pump, so he doesn't really know. And I do have the Hidden Power Fire, so could potentially go for that too. So if I do click Surf here, I think this thing takes a lot of damage, and whatever he switches into, unless it's Kyurem, would also take a lot of damage. So potentially Kyurem could be a switch in here. I'm just going to click the Ice Beam and see what he wants to do. He's actually going to go out to his Mega Scizor, his Sam, and he takes no damage, 17%. Unfortunately, at this point though, he could click Bullet Punch to knock me out here. He could throw off a Toxic, predicting me to hard switch into my Charizard, and he could just U-turn out. It's really just up to him, to be honest. My best play is switching out though. I can't risk him clicking Bullet Punch here when Greninja does so much work to his team. So risking this thing is just not worth it. So instead of clicking Hidden Power Fire here, I'm actually going to hard switch out into my Charizard. And I do, and my opponent goes for the Tailwind. So my opponent's showing some heat there, and hard switches out to his Pythagoras as I go for the Fire Punch. So interesting about this. This being his Zard counter, I almost ran a sub-Toxic Roost Fire Spin set just to be annoying. So had I ran a subset, I would have clicked sub as he switched out. I would have clicked Toxic as he came in. Can't break my sub. Click. Fire Spin. And proceed to Roost Stall until he dies. So here I'm going to attempt to see like how bulky is this thing. So I set up a Swords Dance. He goes for the Shadow Ball, gets a crit, so I can't judge like his set really. And Fire Punch is doing nothing after Swords Dance. Just the exact matchup I needed. Hard switching the Swellow because the Pythagoras can't damage me. Potentially go for Will-O-Wisp, not a big deal. Toxic would be a bit of a problem. He has no resist to Boom Burst, So hard into Swallow is my play. He has no switch-ins. So yeah, I can just set up a nice little workup as he switches out into the the hip out on. Click the boom burst, 87% as he goes for the whirlwind. I'm not sure if he forgot he was red card or what, but I was being ejected regardless, so maybe he could have set up his rocks there if he had it. Anyways, he brings in his Needle Queen. I do not have a switch in, so I'm just going to try to get some damage off. Put it in Grin's range, 100% in Ice Beam range now, no matter it's set. And now has no switch ins. Okay, so now he brings in the Cafagragus, and I'm going to reveal that I'm not, choice locked or anything like that. Click the Dark Pulse, down goes the Cofag. He brings in the Mega Scizor. I'm no longer afraid of the BP, so I can just click the Hidden Power Fire. And yeah, so that's pretty nice there. Hard switch out the Delmas here on the Fusion Bolt. Did not predict that. Predicted the Dragon type move, but couldn't risk Clef, so I just wanted to, and didn't really need Delmas. Still don't need Delmas to this point, and just don't want anything to set up here, so I'm just going to continuously click Shadow Claw, I believe. I could click Swords Dance, but really no reason to, in my opinion. And my opponent is able to 2-hit KO me here, and I miss out on the knockout there, so not a big deal. Like I said, I can bring Grin in and revenge kill this thing anytime in the match. And his leftovers were Black Sludge. Ice Beam's able to pick off the Needle Queen. He brings in the thingy, and really I don't need Clefable at this point, so even if he goes for Iron Head, it's no problem. And you see he is physically, offensively invested, as the Iron Head's doing a lot more than I thought it would. Expected maybe half, but it's doing well over half, so nice bring there. Going into Swallow here to click Boom Burst as my opponent knocks me out, but now all of his mons are in range of Greninja, so I can just spam Hidden Power. And the reason I go for Hidden Power Fire here over Ice Beam is just in case this thing was Scarf with Focus Blast and he knocked my Grin out. See, if I went for Ice Beam, I would be an Ice type, or Dark Pulse, and I would be a Dark type. And this thing could then spam Focus Blast. He would knock my Greninja out with one hit, and if he got a crit on my Jolteon, or just if he got a crit on my Jolteon, he would knock me out. Or if my Thunderbolt wasn't strong enough to knock him out, he'd be able to 2-hit KO me with this Scarf Focus Blast. So I went for the Hidden Power Fire there, so that I would have a better chance of living a Scarf Focus Blast here. But I'm just going to throw off the Ice Beam here, and he reveals not to be Scarfed, meaning that this game is mine. Well, he could have been Yachi Berry as well, but still, Jolteon would have been able to finish up. And that's going to be the game. We're going to pick up a narrow 2-0 victory. Felt in control of the match the entire time. I think my opponent brought some more of a balanced style, and my offense was able to just, really rip through, especially Greninja and Swallow. Had I been able to set up, if Hippo wasn't the red card or Whirlwind, I think Swallow would have just went ham right there. I think everything dies to a +1 Boom Burst, and Scizor drops to the +1 Heat Wave. But yeah, that's gonna be the game. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.